Friends, you probably already know by now that this is my favorite gospel story because I have a way of repeating myself. And it has been since I was 9 years old. I was sitting in Holy Family Church one Sunday and this reading came up, and for some unexplained reason, I was paying attention that day. And it dawned on me that the hero is the 9-year-old kid. He must have said, when they said to him, "Give us your 5 loaves and 2 fishes, we want to feed these 5,000 people," he must have said, "These people have been smoking something." And he looks and I don't see how this is going to, he had to say that, I don't see how it's going to work. But he gave Jesus his 5 loaves and 2 fishes. It's the essence of faith. You don't know how it's going to work. You just know Jesus wants your loaves and fishes. And that has been, I can think of just so many instances. I think of Mother Teresa, who came to Calcutta. And there was so much need there, and she had nothing. She had nothing at all. So she started out by renting a building that had a dirt floor. And she looked at her loaves and fishes, and she didn't see much there at all. She was well educated, and she was able to teach. That's where her loaves and fishes were. So she started teaching kids. They sat on that dirt floor, and she used some kind of a thing to do math sums and things right on the floor, and that was the beginning. And you know what became of that from that small beginning. Here's another example. In the 1980s, I was working at St. Joseph's Church next to the University of Buffalo. And right across the street, there's a little restaurant called Amy's Place. Maybe you heard of it. Amy Betros ran a little restaurant there serving good food at decent price, mainly to university students. And then she did one day she went on a pilgrimage to Msgr. She came back a changed person. She decided, I got better food than this to give these people. I imagine her saying that. She didn't tell me that. So she wanted to get into the business of giving people spiritual food. She went to one of the toughest neighborhoods in the city of Buffalo. She didn't have anything. Didn't have nothing at all. She must have looked and said, when I look at what I have here, these loaves and fishes, that's not going to work. You probably know what was St. Luke's Mission of Mercy. That was 37 years ago. That's still going strong. It's still feeding people, actually physical food that they can chew, but also feeding their souls, feeding their minds. They're educating kids there who are going on to often on scholarships to high schools. And there's magnificent things, and it all started by her saying, I don't have much, but I'm going to give what I have. And that's a message, I think, on this gospel story. I think the mistake that most people see, the homily is really not about the little boy with his loaves and fishes, and it's really not about Mother Teresa or Amy Betros and the St. Luke's. It's really about you. And if you're thinking, oh no, it's not about me, I don't have anything to give, then that's precisely it. That's exactly what the boy was thinking. That's exactly what Mother Teresa was thinking. That's exactly what Amy Betros was. I don't have much to give. Another example. Some years back, I don't remember the years now, but this really struck me. There was a little girl, 9th grade girl in the city of Chicago. She heard the gospel and she thought, I don't even have 5 loaves and 2 fishes. So she looked at what she did have. It wasn't much, less than $100 that she had earned from babysitting, but she wanted to give it to Jesus. And so she used the money. Now this is brilliant, really. This is clever, creative. This could only come from a 9th grader. She many people in her city or area used public transportation. They had buses, and the buses had these ads. I don't know if they still do, but they used to have. I haven't been on a bus in a long time, a city bus that is. Ads on the along the aisles, you know, and it was a source of income. So she put ads up, religious ads, getting people to think about their life and their church and their faith and all that kind of thing. I don't know what the ad said, and she thought, well, those buy loaves and fishes. Nothing happened. Some years later, a Chicago priest was talking with people who had just come into the church through the RCIA process. And he asked them what had started them on their journey. And one man said, "It was an ad that I saw on a bus." So the question that today's gospel puts to us is this: what are my loaves and fishes, and am I willing to give them to Jesus? I'm going to say this too, like, when you give your loaves and fishes I mentioned to Jesus, it doesn't always result in a miraculous thing like the gospel story in this instance. Sometimes nothing really big happens, but you don't have to worry about that. The important thing is that you're willing to give what you have, those little loaves and fishes, to give them to Jesus. Let him decide how it's going to work, if it's going to work, and all of that. So the question is, what are my loaves and fishes, and am I willing to give them to Jesus? Amen.